After 5 years on my minimalism journey, I've realized that there's always more to learn and let go of. As the holiday shopping season approaches, I'm reminded of this simple truth. We need far less than we think to live rich and fulfilling lives. So today, I'm challenging myself to comb through every inch of our minimalist home to see just how much I'm still unnecessarily holding on to. Looking back, I used to be that girl at Forever 21, scouring every single rack, looking high and low to see just how many items I could buy with the money that I had. My self-worth was tied to my clothes and my possessions. But embracing the less is more philosophy changed everything for me. I began to see my possessions for what they truly are, just things that we often overvalue. And while decluttering is a physical process, it's the inner transformation that draws me back each time. It's a shedding of not just items, but also the habits and mindsets of my former self that hold me back from living in true alignment with my values. So let's find out together how my perspective has shifted towards the things that I own since my last home declutter, and just how much I'm willing to let go of this time around. We've lived in this condo for almost 3 years now, and over that time, I've decluttered extensively, but it hasn't always been a smooth journey. I love to organize, and for a good chunk of time when we first moved in, I convinced myself that all of my organization efforts meant something good. But eventually, I realized that there was one reason why I was stuck in the cycle of reorganizing the same space every few months. We had too much stuff. I'd declutter a handful of items every so often, but never enough to make a lasting impact, and then I'd resort to old spending habits and excuses. I was still holding on to a lot of beliefs about the things that I owned, but this realization was a turning point. So I started to declutter more intentionally, questioning the value and necessity of each item in our home. And over time, this process transformed our living space. From rooms with excess items hidden within, we've gradually created a more open, breathable environment. But the question remains, even in our minimalist home, is there still more to let go of? As you discover the excess that still remains in my own home, I encourage you to think about your belongings in the same way. I spent 4 hours meticulously going through every drawer, cabinet, and container in our home to get a clear picture of how much we still own and which items we might be ready to let go of. As I did this, I asked myself 3 crucial questions. Number 1, why am I keeping this? What value does it add to my life? And would I miss it if it were gone? It was pretty eye-opening to see just how much we still owned after those previous decluttering sessions, and the pile of decluttered items kept growing with each new room that I entered. I went through each room methodically, starting with the kitchen, where I found over 30 items to get rid of that we rarely used and were filling a space just because it was available. As I went through the bathroom, after realizing that I did not in fact need all 5 of my hairbrushes and a curling iron that I never use, the total count of decluttered items rose to about 40. Within my bedroom were the most opportunities for hidden excess, namely in our top drawer, where a pile of purse junk had accumulated. That and about 30 to 40 clothing items that I was keeping as part of my capsule wardrobe, perhaps a bit naively thinking that I might comfortably fit into them again someday soon. A lot of them I had also kept because I was holding on to a previous version of myself, one whose way of dressing does not really align with my current lifestyle as a mom. I don't feel as comfortable in those particular items, and they just don't work for me in the same way on a day-to-day basis. Therefore, they're rarely ever used. Letting go of these clothes was a mix of relief and acceptance. Within the storage closet and living room were about 25 more items that I got rid of, and many of them were kept just in case or due to the fact that we had spent a good amount of money on them. The familiar weight of what if I need this later tugged at me, but I reminded myself of previous decluttering successes and I just pushed past that thought. By the end of this challenge, I was ready to say goodbye to over 100 items. This declutter felt different, more intentional, and more freeing. It proved to me that there's always room for growth. And it also demonstrated that the pursuit for a simpler life is a perpetual cycle of self-reflection and letting go. The less physical possessions that I own, the less I seem to desire material goods. Life gets a little clearer every time, and in letting go of excess, I gain more freedom to pursue what truly matters. And if this is something that you desire for yourself, I have a lot of other videos where I share other ways to simplify your life, so I'm gonna link that playlist above for you as well as in the description box. Thank you for joining me for today's challenge, and I'll see you in the next video.